guys. For today's video, I want to talk to you about something that is really emotional. And I'm sure from the title of this video you can tell we're going to be talking about materialism, some of the mistakes that I've made, some of the morals and values that I have, and overall the blessings in disguise and the things that I have learned. As you can see, I, throughout the years, have spent a lot of money on things for different reasons. And until current times, I didn't realize what those things actually meant to me or my reasoning behind them. And as I've kind of fixed a lot of my own emotional insecurities, I realized that I not only purchased but held on to a lot of things that didn't actually make me happy. And that I was seeking validation for such a long time. I was a model and I came across all this money. But deep down, I was this girl who couldn't even look at herself in the mirror without makeup because of my acne. I was insecure about different parts of my body, my face, my personality. Realizing where that came from, just understanding things from a different perspective has been enlightening to me. And I am getting rid of around $25,000 worth of Louis Vuitton, and I'm actually going to be donating it. And I think the most exciting part of this video is that I'm going to take you through that process in another video, and I'm gonna actually show you, and we're gonna explore together what benefits whatever I can sell this for is going to do to improve the lives of others. So, yeah. So first off, I am sweating, which is like so awkward, and I think it's because this is a huge step for me. This is not just me getting rid of things or reselling things. This is me letting go of a piece of my old identity. When I was super insecure in high school, I would literally count the amount of dollars that I was wearing, how much my jeans cost, how much my shoes cost, how much my purse and my shirt cost that day. And if I didn't walk out of the house wearing more than $500 worth of clothing, I went and I changed. I grew up very privileged. Obviously, I've always worked for what I have, but anyone who has the means to watch this video using technology, anyone who has access to clean water is privileged. And I never got the latest and greatest growing up. My parents, we bought our couches at garage sales. Like, that's my family, and I love it and I'm proud of it now. But growing up, I went to a high school where people would get a Mercedes-Benz or a Porsche for their 16th birthday. And I was always the really uncool kid in school. I was kind of a scene kid. You saw the makeup video, it was bad. I was always the odd kid out. I never really fit in. And especially, we're just gonna attack people here. Especially because of my acne, I always felt that I was lacking. I felt that my personality was lacking. I felt that my appearance was lacking. I felt that everything about me was substandard. And I think that stemmed a lot of my issues, especially with acne. Dude, when you can't even look at yourself in the mirror, when you can't even find products to cover your face and you are struggling because you don't have a job or your parents aren't going to give you money to go shopping. And a lot of that came from comparisons, because I would sit there and I would compare myself to the people around me. And I wasn't just comparing myself to one person, I was comparing myself to multiple people. So if one girl in the popular group got the latest pair of jeans, I felt insecure because I didn't have the cool jeans, but then somebody else got the pair of shoes and somebody else got the purse. But then because I didn't have all those things, I felt insecure. When I would flip open magazines, I would see these women with their perfectly photoshopped skin and, you know, they're holding these expensive bags, and I just felt completely insecure and invaluable. And even when I started to cover my own acne, after I switched schools because of bullying, I worked my butt off to get my high school education certification 2 years early. I worked my butt off to get into college. I would say a very different word, but I'm not gonna swear on YouTube. I worked so hard to do all these things. I was a telemarketer. If you got a call from Cassandra asking about your windows, it was probably me. I was a teenage runaway. A lot of that stemmed from my emotional insecurities. But I worked my butt off to make sure that I had food, to make sure that I had shelter. Yet, I still felt so insecure. I was doing so much. I was working so hard. I was intelligent. I did have people who cared about me. Yet, here I am living in a delusion. When things did start to get better for me, when I was able to cover up my acne with makeup because I figured it out, when I was able to start modeling, people were paying me money to be beautiful, all of a sudden I started coming across money and I didn't know what to do with it. There was a point in my life where I was earning $30,000 a month. There was another point in my life where I was $45,000 in debt and barely earning $500 a month. And I have been on both sides of that spectrum, and I have really learned that there's a balance in the middle. But back to this time when I had started modeling, things were going well, I was doing a lot of blogging and earning a lot of money from ad revenue. I was really excited, and I didn't know what to do with this money. So what did I do, being an insecure person who felt like a hypocrite in my own skin because I didn't think that I deserved any of this attention? After my acne video, people were telling me that I inspired them, and I was like, me? Inspiring you? Like, I just put some stuff on my face. I'm still really, really insecure in here. And you think that I'm a hero? I felt like I needed to live up to a certain expectation that I put on myself. I got into relationships just for societal approval and to show something to the world. I purchased certain items just for societal approval and for friends' approval. I hung out with certain people and listened to certain music that I didn't even like, just because I created this mold of the ideal person that Cassandra should be that I felt that I had to fit into. Guess what? I was so freaking miserable. But when I came across that money, having these insecurities and not knowing what to do with them, I started buying shit. There's a lot more to go, and it's overwhelming to me because I still have huge attachments to items because for so long, items were my identity. This is step one, and especially Louis Vuitton because this is a brand that I realize I never even liked. It's cool, it's practical, like, okay, here's a suitcase, here's like a thing and a scarf. Personally, I don't find these super physically attractive. They're just not my style. So why did I get these? And I realized it was, for me, it was all about that image. This was something that I associated with popularity, that I associated with success, and I felt like I didn't have any of that. And I had to live up to this label that I literally shoved across myself. And I was literally miserable all the time, bleeding money. And I think it's so painful to me because I look back and I realized I was hurting myself and that wasn't going anywhere. I wasn't enjoying those things because me as a person didn't really love those things. And for somebody who does, that's who should purchase those kind of things. But I should have learned after the first or second one, this item is not going to make you happy. But I didn't. I just kept going and there was something new and there was something better. And then I wouldn't get rid of things. And I literally started to collect things and I could not let them go, kind of like a hoarder, only you could still see my floor. You know what I mean? And if you look at my past room tour, you can see that my closets are busting with things that I don't wear and things that would make someone else so much more happy than it would me. And for the longest time, I was shopping for an identity of somebody else. It was really just a way for me to kind of fill a hole. And so then let's fast forward. I, had some financial issues because of all of this excess. I ended up getting rid of a relationship that was very toxic for me. We're not going to talk about that because that deals with a lot of other physical and emotional stuff. But a part of that relationship was me needing to validate myself in front of society. And as I got rid of part of that relationship, I was able to kind of let go some of those issues. And then we'll fast forward a little bit more to when I went vegan. I went vegan for ethics issues, and it stemmed with food. If you remember, I was having those tummy troubles where people thought that I was pregnant and I had to stop modeling for a little while, and I was even cast as a pregnancy model. I was having a lot of emotional issues and a lot of physical issues that were stemming from my emotional issues, acne being one of them. But when I went vegan, I saw a speech online called The Best Speech Ever, and I went vegan overnight. And as I did that, it started off completely dietarily, because I was like, if this isn't good enough for my eyes, why is it good enough for my stomach? And I was vegetarian for years when I was younger, but I had started eating meat again when I had been a runaway and I just needed cheap food. But I started realizing that I do consider myself a compassionate person. I do care about other beings. I have cats. I have 6 cats. I love them all. And I do care about the environment. And I started to look into it a little bit more. And as I looked into it, I realized that some of my actions just weren't aligning with my morals. And I'm not gonna lie to you guys, that was really upsetting. Because it's like, boom, Cassandra, you know, your ego makes you think that you're like a cool person, and then you learn this new enlightening information that challenges who you are and says like, are you really a compassionate person? You say you want to help people live beautifully inside and out. You want to make this world a beautiful place. You want to spread love and kindness, but a lot of your actions are counterproductive to those goals. So that's why I went vegan. And then as I have grown over the past years doing that, I had to reassess myself. And I'm at a point right now where I have to look around at the things that I'm wearing and even the cosmetics that I'm putting on my face and say, these things also have the potential of harming another being. Is this something that I can support? I am the one who has to go to bed with me at the end of a long day. So whatever my decision is, I'm the one who needs to be okay with that. And don't get me wrong, it's so hard because I love luxury, I love nice things, I love feeling good about myself. But I asked myself, is there a way that I could do that that minimizes the harm to other beings? And when I actually learned a little bit more about the industry and especially about leather and stuff like that, I realized I contributed to a lot of things that if I had known what was going on, I wouldn't do. So I stopped purchasing new things, but I was still and still am using these things. And for a while, I justified this to myself. I was just like, well, Cassandra, you know, you're not buying any new Louis Vuitton, but it's totally fine for you to take an Instagram post and show this. And you'll just use it until it gets dirty and until it breaks and you can't use it anymore. And that to me was logical because I had invested all this time and money. If I just threw it away, that would be even more of a waste. So as I was going through that, I had Instagrammed a couple photos where I was holding one of these bags, and I sat there and I was just like, hold up, Cassandra. I have to be honest with myself. I'm someone who, being online, someone who puts myself out there, I expose myself. And that means exposing every piece of me. And somebody who's scrolling through Instagram liking my photos doesn't know that I no longer purchase these things. That person sees me holding this bag, sees me happy with my friends, and I'm happy because I now believe in myself. I'm happy because I found validation outside of items. And it's not that bag. But for the longest time, I was that girl looking at those images, thinking that that other person's happiness came from material items. And knowing that, and knowing that I've been that person, I realized I don't feel right sitting here holding up a bag and being like, look at my OOTD, but I'm still promoting an item that I don't believe in. And somebody might see that and think that this is the reason for my happiness or think that they want to go purchase this item. And of course, just like me, you don't know what goes into it until you research it. And someone who wants to buy that item doesn't know. And I just felt like a complete hypocrite in my own skin. Just the way I did as a model with acne. Before I posted my makeup acne video, I felt like a hypocrite every day. Because here I was, the ugly duckling bullied in school, who literally tried to kill herself multiple times, to being a model where people paid me to be beautiful. I didn't fit, those two things didn't fit in one body. I felt like a hypocrite. And then when I posted that video, it just took everything off my shoulders. And I'm hoping that this video kind of helps me take all these things off my shoulders too, because I feel like a hypocrite holding these items. I stopped shopping as much and I started buying things that actually mattered to me. Things that actually make me happy. And a lot of those are experiences. I realized the things about myself that I am proud of. I'm not ashamed to say that I'm an educated and intelligent person, that I have an open mind. I'm not ashamed to say that yes, I have spent money and time traveling and broadening my horizons, and that yes, I do my homework, but I also hang out with my friends. And you know, don't be ashamed of your achievements, especially if you've worked for them. I think that part of being humble is that people don't like to talk about those things, but if you've done something good, if you've got a six-pack because you worked your body hard, if you got an awesome grade because you studied endless nights, if you cleared your skin because you worked hard and researched and tried different products and tried to help others in the process, don't be ashamed of that. And that's something that I have to tell myself regularly, because sometimes I try to kind of talk myself down, like, hush Cassandra, you're not that cool, and I'm not. But at the same time, I do deserve to appreciate myself for my achievements. But when I found this validation outside of items, you guys have been commenting on my Instagram photos and on my social media and just saying you look so much happier. You look so much more fulfilled, and that's so true. I definitely kind of went back to basics. I said, what are my goals and morals? What do I need to come back to? What are the tent poles of me as a human being? And I was kind of ignoring the things that I love posting about and the things that make me me. I got rid of a lot of things, like actual things from my room. I first started that in August after I came back from an emotional trip in India, and then I completed that this spring, and I'm still going to be working on it. But when I found that validation, I realized it's okay to let go. And there's this quote that keeps going through my head, and it's that if you never let go of who you are now, you will never be able to grow into who you're meant to be. And so as much as I'm sweating and as terrifying as it is to let go of these pieces of my identity, I feel that it is necessary. And especially now that I know what goes into it, I realize that these things don't personally align with my morals and values. And if I can find happiness outside of these things, why do I need to hold on to them? I think a lot of holding on to things is kind of living in the past. They say anxiety is fear of the future and depression is holding on to the past. And you should live in the now with respect to the past and to the future. So that is definitely something that I'm working on. Before, I always tried to find love and validation through items because I felt that that is what I lacked. But as I've been really honest with myself and spent a lot of money making bad mistakes, I learned the hard way that that's not true. I'm allowed to mess up, I'm allowed to make mistakes, because tomorrow's never guaranteed, but there is a tomorrow. And no matter where you are, no matter what stage of your life you're in, no matter what you're dealing with, it's never too late to start. And I'm just happy that I learned those mistakes when I did, because I could see myself being that person who chases the next trend, the next big thing, and I could see myself being that person. And the fact that I kind of came to these realizations at an earlier time, I'm very, very grateful for. Because for me, that has given me a much better quality of life. So when it comes to these things, and in this journey of being more compassionate and letting go, I'm starting here, and I am getting rid of $25,000 worth of Louis Vuitton. And I just look back and I'm embarrassed by myself. I'm embarrassed that there's so much good that I could have done in the world, or even in just my own world, with that money. And the fact that I squandered it on things that didn't truly make me happy, like, it's embarrassing to say that I made that kind of a mistake, because I was so off target of who I am on the inside. But this is me fixing that, and what I have decided to do is donate these items. Now, I was thinking about it because there are like donation drives where you can donate fur, and it helps to like clothe baby animals or animals in shelters, but shelters can't exactly use these items. And I also realized if I just gave them up, I don't really know where that would go or what good that would do. And I donate to certain causes regularly, but something that I've realized is that when you donate, you don't know who you're helping. You never see that end result. But I think that there are some people out there who maybe don't donate or don't give because they don't see that result. And I can say that, and I know that because in the past I was that person. So that brought me to where I am now, and I have decided that I am going to resell these things and take every single penny and donate them to animals and actually take you with me. There are a couple different charities and a couple different places that I'm looking into that are animal shelters, animal rehabilitation, animal sanctuaries. And with the money, however little or much I'm able to earn from these, I'm going to put 100% of those proceeds into those charities, into those establishments, and actually show everyone here what this does for the animals, how much food it buys, how it helps somebody get a vet bill. Because I think that it's important to know that when you're donating, something good is actually happening. Because there was a time in my life that I didn't donate simply because I didn't know and I wouldn't feel that good reward. And actually, speaking about that, I was telling a couple people about my ideas about reselling these and donating all the proceeds. And some of those people in my life that I've had to kind of rethink and, you know, just reevaluate who I surround myself with. There were some people who told me, Cassandra, you should say that you're donating all these things, but then just like keep the money for yourself, or donate a little bit of it, but like keep the money from yourself, because like you could always use it. And I mean, that's true. I could always use more money. We could always use more money, right? But I've learned the hard way that money isn't happiness. And that idea, first off, of lying to you, and then second off, stealing from charities, I just really upset me. Really infuriated me. And again, that's another point where I can get along with people who have different ideas, but I can't surround myself with those people. And of course, this is a challenge for me. And to have someone who's working, like I'm working to push myself in this direction, and to have someone who knows that I'm doing that and trying to kind of pull me back this way, it's upsetting. It's just, it hurts in here. But as part of that, I want to take you through every step of the process. And I'm going to take these to consignment stores. Guys, I know nothing about reselling. I don't know how this works. I don't know how much they're worth anymore. I mean, you see this? Like, this has been destroyed. The zipper doesn't even work. But at the same time, it'll make somebody else happier. And the way I see it is that I don't want someone else going out and buying these brand new and having to kill another animal to get these brand new. If they were going to get them anyways, they could get them used. And like I said, if I just threw them on the street, it would do no good. This was somebody's life. I don't want that to be taken for granted. So that's why I'm choosing to donate them, and then the proceeds I will be investing in charities and investing in these causes for good. My camera died, but as I was saying, I want to show people the actual benefit that comes from this. And because I know my younger self, I know that, like, this is kind of a video to my younger self. Because I do know the gift of giving. I know how rewarding that can be, even if I don't see the final outcome. But my younger self didn't know that. And my younger self would have a hard time giving if I didn't actually see the benefit. And this is a video to try to help other people and just to show, you know, that you can make a difference and show what that difference is, and kind of to show that to the 15-year-old me. This luggage I would carry around, and I was scared to go certain places because I was afraid that I was going to get robbed or it was going to get stolen, and I didn't feel safe because I felt like I constantly had to protect my things. And that stopped me from living. Having these things and worrying about who was going to take advantage of me and what was going to happen was so much more stressful, and I never truly enjoyed them. And of course, that whole taking advantage thing is probably issues that stem from younger experiences as well that we're not going to talk about here. But like, the amount of maintenance and effort and all of that went into these for my life was not worth it. And I think that for me, this is that step. And of course it's scary, but I think it's necessary for my growth as a person, because you are a part of this journey. And I will be sharing kind of this entire process as I'm going through it on my social media, because I've never done this before. And if you have any tips, any advice, or know of any charities or know of any places to resell, please comment below and let me know. Post something right now. Pause this video, post something right now, and say something. And like this video, because I have sweaty armpits and because this was really hard for me to film, but very, very fulfilling. I'm ready to let go of those certain things. And I just have to say just how grateful I am to have you. How grateful I am to have your support through all of these years, you being here, you loving me when I didn't love myself in my own skin, has been what's gotten me through so much. And I can never express to you how much I appreciate that. Like, I'm comfortable in my own skin now, in my own acne, with relationships, with life things that God, there's even things that we haven't talked about here, but I am coming to terms with those things slowly. Life is always a journey. I'm always going to be in a state of change and growth, but I just want you to know what a huge part of that you are. And truly how much that means to me, because I can't express it, and I don't think I do express it enough. So thank you. And yeah, let's get to it. Post a comment with your suggestions on what to do, and let's get to taking those first steps into doing something to make this place a slightly better world. I love you. Always remember to be beautiful. And because you've already hit that little ding dong button, I will see you in the next video. Love you guys. Bye.